Good evening, everyone, from Lions Field in Sumrall, Mississippi. It's time for Region 7 4A high school football action as the Sumrall Bobcats, returning home after a 2-week road stint, are at home tonight on homecoming against the Forest County AHS Aggies. I'm Kelly Santa, ready to bring you the play-by-play of tonight's game, where the Sumrall Bobcats solidly in the playoffs. Don't know exactly what spot they'll be in, realistically 2 through 4. But that's the difference between a 2 spot is the difference between a home game and not having a home game in the first round. 3 and 4, of course, they would go on the road. Game got started a little bit late tonight because of the homecoming festivities on campus. What a week it was, as you see the coin toss taking place at midfield. The Bobcats in their favorite powder blue uniforms and the Aggies in their road uniforms with the maroon pants and the white shirts, very reminiscent of the Agricultural University in Mississippi, Mississippi State. As we get ready to bring this game to you, the second to last game of the regular season. Sumrall will conclude its regular season next week at home against Greene County. That game will have much significance, and we will reveal all of that to you as the night goes on. Sumrall has won the toss and has deferred its choice to the second half, so the Aggies will receive the ball and will work from left to right. But a big game taking place tonight in Leakesville, where Lawrence County and Greene County are playing. If you're a Bobcat fan, you want Lawrence County to lose that game to Greene County. But you talk to the coaches, any of the coaches around the division will say that game would certainly be wide open at Leakesville, the Wildcats at home against the Cougars. The reason that you would want Greene County to win that game is because that would give another loss to Lawrence County. And if Sumrall were to win tonight and then next week against Greene County, Sumrall, and Lawrence County would all have 2 losses. And then it would come to a point differential to see who got the number 2 playoff seed behind, of course, the Poplarville Hornets, who locked it up last week with a win over the Bobcats in Poplarville. And here come the good guys, led by Zane Berry, who was voted Mr. Sumrall today. His brother Zach was also voted that honor a couple of years ago, and getting about a 10-minute late start here at Lions Field. Great homecoming festivities, lots of things going on during the week. They had dress-up days, Circle of Life, where the kids could dress up to make themselves look young or very old, depending on their favorite Circle of Life. Had a Hawaiian Day, where no doubt the Hawaiian floral shirts were put in place, and to show your favorite school color days too, where you could come dress up as your favorite school or university. The hall decorations that took place last weekend, the freshman class won that, but most everything else the seniors won. Best spirit at the pep rally today, the seniors won that. So ready to get underway here tonight in Sumrall. The Bobcats again finish up the regular season tonight and next Friday here against Greene County. And regardless of what happens in Leakesville tonight, that will certainly be significant. So ready to kick it off here. The Aggies come into this game 0-3 in the region. Sumrall 1-2, but they took both of those losses back-to-back weeks. Other games in the district tonight include Poplarville at Purvis. Purvis gave Lawrence County all they wanted last week, but Lawrence County emerged victorious. And then we mentioned, of course, Lawrence County at Greene County. Bryson Smith ready to kick it away for the Rawcats. He does. It's a low liner that'll be picked up at about the 22-yard line and brought forward by Justin Williams. And he is wrapped up at about the 22-yard line. Making the tackle there for the Bobcats is Hayden Barrett, where the Aggies will begin 1st and 10, working left to right. Coach Calcote in his first year, Brad Calcote, the main man at Forest County AHS, a great football tradition there. The Perry Wheat, who used to coach at Purvis, coached the Aggies years ago. Guy by the name of Lance Mancuso, who's now at Jeff Davis County, formerly Bassfield. He coached at Forest County AHS. Brad Hankins, now the coach at Purvis. He's been a coach there. Lee Sullivan. I mean, some great coaches, and the list goes on and on. So the Aggies on 1st and 10. It's a pitch, and trying to find some room right up the middle is Jabori Fairley. and Fairleigh got up across the 25 to maybe the 26-yard line. As we are just underway here, the first series of the night got about 3 on the play, brings up a 2nd down and 7. Bobcats glad to be back home after back-to-back road losses at Lawrence County 2 weeks ago and then down in Pop Vegas last week. Quarterback is Cole Kendrick. It's the same play. They pitch it to Fairleigh, who weaves his way through traffic. It gets up near the 30-yard line. He'll be short of the first, but it'll be 3rd down and short as Justice Hanberry checks in for Sumrall, and Jacob Edwards comes out. 3rd down and about 2. Some of the Bobcat players wearing, pink socks and wearing those pink towels to commemorate the fight against breast cancer, October, traditionally that month where that is recognized. Dive to the first man through. Didn't look like he got the first down, but it'll depend on the spot for sure. Carrying the ball that time for the Aggies was Josh Daniels, the sophomore fullback. They do give him first down yardage at about the 32-yard line. And the Sumrall coaches don't like that. They wanted that ball to be measured. They thought that that wasn't necessarily a first down. But the Aggies get credit for it. And they'll set up a fresh set of plays here now from their own 32-yard line, working left to right. Out of the eye, a quick count, and a pitch back to Devontae Dixon. Dixon continues to try to attack the right side of that defensive front for Sumrall. Picked up about 2 there. 2nd down and 8 coming up. Clock moving with 10:21 left to go here in the first quarter. Time for our Sumrall roll call. Don't forget to text us at 601-310-7077. That's 601-310-7077. Let us know where you're watching the game from tonight. Glad that you're with us on our YouTube channel at Sumrall Athletics. This time it's a delay, but they do try the left side again to Dixon. Things got pretty clogged up there, and not a lot of yardage there. Nick Eccles on the tackle after a gain of a yard brings up 3rd down and about 7 for the Aggies, who do not like to throw the football, but it would seem that they're in a throwing situation here. For Sumrall, Adarius Fairman could go tonight, but the coaches think they will hold him out in anticipation of the big Greene County game next week. And based on the records, you'd think that Sumrall can handle the Aggies here tonight without him. So Fairman looks to go next week. Sully Clark is also out with an injury tonight. He will not play. A quick swing pass out into the left flat. It is caught, but actually Josh Daniels, after making the catch, moved backwards and then was able to get forward for a yard or two, and it looks like there might have been a penalty marker there. Mama in Kennedy, Texas, giving a shout out to the Bobcats and the Quack Attack. Carson Duck and his Texas fan club checking in tonight. There was a penalty marker against Sumrall. It was a face mask penalty. So the Aggies, with that mark off, are credited with another first down. So when the Aggies looked like they had been stopped, they got a first down. Again, working the left side, Fairleigh on the run for the Aggies. They have consistently tried to hammer that right front. I'm not sure how wise that is with Solomon Landrum over there. Cole Daniels anchoring the left side. And then Nick Eccles in the middle when they go with 3 men up front. Justice Hanberry also in there to give aid. It's a gain of about 1.5 yards. 2nd down here for the Aggies. Clock continuing to roll with 8:35. They take no time at all in pitching the ball back to Jabori Fairleigh, the senior. Fairleigh's not but 5'5" and about 140, but he can scoot. Didn't find much room over there on the far side of the field in front of the bench for the Aggies. Cocroft was on the tackle there for Sumrall, along with Coleman. Nigel Coleman, who committed to Pearl River Community College earlier this week. 3rd down and long for the Aggies out of the eye. Wanting to throw across the middle, incomplete. The receiver was there at about the 40-yard line, but in and out of his hands. The intended receiver there was Jacoby Kidd, a sophomore wide receiver. So they will punt it away. At about the 31-yard line, Sumrall will not bring any pressure. Kicking it away is Sevan Miranda. Miranda kicks it down to about the 13-yard line as Barrett lets it go by. So the Cats will get their first opportunity here to go on offense with 7:44 left to go here in the first quarter. Though it's football season, the pros at Sumrall Lawn Service are busy every season. Whether it's mowing, edging, tree trimming, or bush hogging, Richie and Jim Sumrall have over 20 years of experience making your lawn be something you can be proud of. Like the Bobcats on the field, Sumrall Lawn Care knows what it takes to win and how to make your landscape a winner. Proud supporters of the Bobcats, Sumrall Lawn Care, sponsors of the Bobcat Red Zone. Dennis Jackson and company to work here. Tyreek Preston to his left with 7:44 left to go. This is the first time that the Bobcats have gotten the football tonight. The give and the go to Preston. They also will try the left side. Preston cradling that football as the Aggies try to strip him. He is able to get up to about the 20-yard line on that play. So a pickup of about 4. Glover on the tackle for the Aggies. So again, looking to the sideline, Shannon White, who's the head coach and the offensive coordinator for Sumrall. Here on homecoming night, big week of festivities, culminating in the crowning of the homecoming queen earlier. This is Barry. Barry trying the stretch play out to the far side, and the Aggies were equal to the task there. They knew that he was going to get the ball on that play, and Peyton Kolb, the junior middle linebacker, was there to ring him up. So it'll be 3rd down and about 5 upcoming now for Sumrall. 2 receivers to the near side of the field. That, of course, is Zane Berry and Tyler Daniels. Preston split to the right of Jackson now. Dennis wants to throw, can't find anybody. Now will roll to his right, dumps it across the middle, and that pass is complete. Complete at about the 30-yard line. That little dump pass, I wasn't sure if they were able to get it to Hayden Barrett, but they did, and he had to slide kind of like he was going into second to make that grab, and he pulls it in for a Bobcat first down. Preston comes out. Cocroft in for the Bobcats in the backfield with trip receivers to the near side on first down. And the whistle blows along the far sideline, and the Aggies will burn their first time out of the night. Boy, interesting with 6:08 left to go in the first quarter, and the Aggies a little bit out of sorts. Coming up in the second quarter, we'll be asking you our trivia question tonight, and this reminder that it's not just a home or a car. It's the 6 months you save for your HD flat screen just in time for football season, or the overtime that you worked for that 3rd car so that your high school student can drive themselves to school. While other companies just see them as a bundle or combo, State Farm agent Stacy Clark Temple sees your home and car as things you really work hard for, and therefore knows that you have to insure those important things. Talk to State Farm agent Stacy Clark Temple in Sumrall for your home and auto insurance today. Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic, sponsors of our post-game show. Dandy Dan Chevron in Bellevue and Sumrall with our offensive and defensive players of the game. And coming up on the Grand Bank halftime show, we'll be talking with Darren Norrid of the Lamar County Sheriff's Department. 1st and 10. Jackson fakes the handoff, will run it himself to the near side of the field. Looking for some blocks, gets some across the 40, and then is pushed out of bounds at about the 47-yard line. Getting credit for the tackle there will be Evan Clark. Clark pushed him out, but plenty of room there for Dennis Jackson to ramble for a first down. That'll move the chains. They're watching in Columbus, Indiana tonight. Debbie is watching the Columbus. I wonder how far Columbus, Indiana is from Columbus, Ohio. But glad to have the area code 432 with us tonight. 1st and 10 for Sumrall. No score here in this ball game. The Aggies and they're all Cats. You see the clock and the scoreboard up in the upper left-hand part of your screen. On the give and go, Cocroft is hit in the backfield and dumped. A loss on the play. Great penetration there by Gage Glover, who already has his second tackle of the night from that middle linebacker position. Glover on the stop, a loss of a yard. 2nd down and 11. So Sumrall will be in the playoffs this year. Most likely will be on the road, but again, as Bobcat fans, you're cheering for Greene County tonight to beat Lawrence County, because then if Sumrall beats Greene County next week, all 3 of those teams would be tied for 2nd place. They'll try Cocroft again, but he's hit in the backfield and dropped again for a big loss. This one back to the 40-yard line, a loss of 8 on the play. Dylan Lozana from the outside linebacker position wrapped him up and took him to the ground. 3rd down and long now for Sumrall as we near 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Bobcats look a little bit shaken up in this particular set of downs. Christy Martin has checked in tonight from Louisiana. It wouldn't be a Sumrall webcast without Christy checking in. Dennis fakes the handoff, now rolls to his right. He's under pressure but gets free. Throws across the middle. He's got Barry down at about the 39-yard line. Zane Barry was following the exact same route that Dennis was taking, and Jackson found him open as he beat his man by about 2 steps. It's one thing to beat your man, but it's another one to corral the football and pull it in. Barry did for a 1st down, and Sumrall is looking at a 1st and 10 at the 40 of the Aggies. Forest County AHS. They've got a 1st down here on homecoming night, working pretty consistently on that far side of the field. Preston will follow his blockers now over the right side. Preston weaves his way through a little bit of traffic. Raymond McRaney watching from Marrero, Louisiana. Sumrall has a big following down in Louisiana. Glad to have them along. Of course, both Raymond McRaney and Christy Martin, alum of Sumrall. Of course, tonight is homecoming. A lot of alums made it to the game. Handoff as they try the counter. Tackle on the play there made by Cameron Herron as he wrapped up Tyreek Preston. It'll bring up a 3rd down and about 3 for Sumrall. Checking into the game for the Bobcats is Darren Coney. Well, Darren Coney, I think, has a bright future. He's a junior, but man, can he fly. And he's in that backfield now as we get 3:30 left to go in the first quarter. No score in this game between the Aggies and the Bobcats. Aggies look like they're offsides here. Here on the near side of the field, Zane Barry is about 2 yards off the ball. And Cameron Norwood, whose brother actually plays at Pearl River, Norwood was right up in Barry's face, but Barry was onside, Norwood wasn't. So it's an easy and free 5 yards for Sumrall, moving the football down to about the 28-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Bobcats, who came up with that big play on 3rd down and long. Jackson wants to throw. Man-to-man coverage. He's got Barry at the 2-yard line, but just overthrew him by about a yard. Incomplete. Barry had beaten Norwood in coverage, but again, just slightly out of reach. They are checking in from Pea Ridge, Arkansas tonight. A shout out to the Tater Bug. One Tate Davis, I would imagine. Uncle Ernie hasn't checked in yet tonight. Hope he's okay. 3:09 left to go in the first quarter. Sumrall has a 2nd down and 10. The incompletion stopped the clock. Dennis Jackson on the handoff. That is Coney inside the 20 down to about the 17-yard line. Nice job by Darren Coney. He was wrestled down by Austin McNeese. McNeese brought him down, but that should be enough for a first down. They've got it at the 18-yard line of Forest County with 2:43 left to go here in the first quarter. Glad that you're with us, watching Sumrall football in high definition on our YouTube channel. DJ, Dennis Jackson to Coney again. This time they'll try the right side. Coney sprinting to the outside, cuts it back inside, and still going inside the 10-yard line. Picked up about 11 yards on that play. It is a first down. Cronin checking in for the Bobcats. Zane Berry, whose knee is 100%, but for precautionary measures, they make sure that he wears that brace on the left knee. Coney coming out. Tyreek Preston checking back in. 1st and 10 for the Rollcats at the 8-yard line of the Aggies. Sumrall looking to hit pay dirt on their first series of the night as they get it inside the Sumrall Lawn Care red zone. Preston following blockers down to about the 3-yard line. So Sumrall trying to convert. Anytime you get inside that Sumrall Lawn Care red zone, you want to make sure you come out with some points. 2nd and goal right here. Dennis Jackson at quarterback, twin receivers to the far side, but they'll hand it off up the middle. Tyreek Preston unscathed and into the end zone. That's a Bobcat touchdown. With 1:29 left to go, Tyreek Preston on a 3-yard jaunt into the end zone. Bryson Smith will come on to try to add the extra point. The snap is back. The kick is a beautiful end-over-end floater, and it's right up the middle. So Sumrall leads it 7-0 with 1:29 left to go here in the first quarter. And the Bobcats know how important it is to get a quick start, and so too your friends at Dandy Dan's Chevron in Bellevue. Whether it's their complete line of fresh, always hot coffees to Miss Betty's sausage and egg biscuits, Dandy Dan's in Bellevue has your quick start covered. And for lunch, make sure you check out the daily special plate lunch at Dandy Dan's Chevron in Bellevue. The smiles are always warm and the drinks ice cold. Proud supporters of Sumrall football and all the local schools. Dandy Dan's in Bellevue on Highway 589. Anytime I head over to Bassfield, Prentice, Monticello, way over that direction, Silver Creek, I always make sure I get a good fill up of coffee there at Dandy Dan's in Bellevue. Bryson Smith to kick it away. Sumrall converts on its first series of the night. Another bouncing liner that is fielded by Dixon on the bounce. And Dixon is able to get good yardage up to about the 44-yard line, while the Aggies will start 1st and 10. It's a slow, churning offense that really doesn't bode well for the Aggies if they get too far behind, because they're just not comfortable yet throwing the football. I say yet, it's a young team that Coach Calcote has. But you talk to their players over there, and even though it's been a rough go of it wins and loss-wise, the Aggies say they're having a good time and they're learning the game and they're planting seeds for the future. Again, they cannot make the playoffs, but we'll try to make it difficult for other teams to get in with 1:22 left to go. Cole Kendrick at quarterback out of the eye. They'll roll, they want to throw, but he is gobbled up back at the 35-yard line, and he was swarmed under by Ashanti Cocroft, who was streaking in from the right side. Got him on the blind side, and a big loss on the play of about 10. So 2nd down and 20 now, as we get right at the 1-minute mark left to go in the first quarter. Boy, Cocroft was streaking in. Nobody picked him up on that blitz. And Kendrick paid the price. Again out of the eye. Wing T sometimes they'll call it. There's a pass out into the flat. It is short. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Fairley, who was on the move out that direction. Fairley kind of did the old swan dive to try to catch the ball, but it was still short. 3rd down and 20. And again, this is not a good situation for the Aggies to be in because they just are not comfortable throwing the ball. And it's not realistic that running the ball you could pick up 20 yards. The incompletion stopped the clock with 40 seconds left to go. Sumrall looking to win this one, get back at home with another win, and then get ready for the big Greene County game next week. 3rd down and 20. Throw back the other direction, and it's caught, but immediately this Bobcat defense is there. Nice job by the Bobcats to read that play on a throw across the field. I think it was Cocroft again that made the tackle. So Cocroft having a good night. Seven Miranda will come to kick it away, just like the number, S-E-V-E-N. So Miranda to boot it to Barrett. Barrett will be the man trying to track it down, but they'll let the first quarter expire. So the Bobcats lead at 7-0. They'll change ends. And then the Aggies will kick it away, and we'll see what Hayden Barrett can do on the return. So switching to the other side, next week when the Wildcats are home against Greene County, the seniors will all be saluted, as it'll be for sure the last home game during the regular season. Of course, you'd hope that the Bobcats would go far enough in the playoffs where they'd get a home game in the playoffs, but senior night next week here at Lions Field, we hope that you will make plans to attend, not to mention a huge game against Greene County. Greene County and Lawrence County battling tonight. Other games in Lamar County include Oak Grove at home against Brandon tonight. That ball is fumbled, and Barrett has to go back and fall on top of it. Poplarville playing at Purvis. Lumberton is playing at Resurrection Catholic, but that game will be on Saturday. That game is moved to Saturday, so Lumberton will not play tonight. We'll make sure that on the Primerica scoreboard, we keep you up to date as to how some of these other games are advancing, not only in the district, with keen interest in that game over in Leakesville, where there is no score in the first quarter. Brandon and Oak Grove, there's no score. Poplarville leading Purvis 14-0. That game is over in Purvis tonight. 14-0, Poplarville leading Purvis. All of our scores brought to you by our friends at Primerica Financial Services. The handoff is to Barrett. Barrett tries the inside, then cuts it back out and might have got a couple more. They'll give him about 4 on the pickup. Boy, Barrett is just a beast. Nothing but muscle on that kid. They said he's in the gym all the time, working out. You know, small potatoes are hard to peel, and they don't get much tougher to bring down than Hayden Barrett. 2nd down and about 6 upcoming. Sumrall working left to right now here in the second quarter. Darren Noren will be joining us on the Grand Bank halftime show, telling us what's going on at the Lamar County Sheriff's Department and some ways that you might be able to help. Tyreek Preston with a nice hole over left tackle up to about the 35. Wrestling him to the ground was Juan Zaraga, the defensive lineman. Zaraga brought him down at the 35. So that's enough for the chains to move. Zaraga now checking out of the ball game for the Aggies as the clock continues to move here. No heat timeouts anymore, that we're in the month of October, actually getting close to Halloween. It's hard to believe. It seems like just yesterday the season started. Dennis Jackson wants to throw. Does. He's got man-to-man coverage. Barry was there and interfered with, and down comes the flag. Actually double coverage over there, but as Barry went up to try to grab the football. A couple of Aggies were there that actually grabbed his arms and pulled him down so that he couldn't catch it. And really, you think that was kind of a stupid penalty, but this isn't like the NFL. So, I mean, where they, get the yardage down there where he caught it. So rather than give up the big play of 25 or more, the Aggies will just take the interference call, which they got fewer yards on the penalty than they would have on the reception. So all in all, if you're going to get burnt, might as well take the penalty. 1st and 10. Wing left. Dennis Jackson rolls to his right. Looks like he's going to run. Now gets away from tacklers. Carries that ball out there loose in his hand, which is pretty dangerous. But knocked out of bounds there by Peyton Roberts. Roberts was there to knock him out. So a gain of about 4 on the play. And Dennis will tell you, you see when Dennis Jackson works the perimeters of the field, that he lots of times will take himself out of the play, saying, look, I don't want to get hurt. Billy Garrity went down at the beginning of the year and was done for the season. And they don't, not that John Ford isn't capable, but it would just be asking a lot on a pure freshman. Fumble on the play. They went to Cocroft, and there was never a clean exchange. But it appears that the Bobcats have recovered it. Nice work by the offensive line to cover it up. And it might have been John Failer over there on the left side. Also in the area was Nathan Kano. Kano playing with a broken thumb. All it was pretty much a lost down for Sumrall. So 3rd and 7 now. Barrett goes into motion. Jackson, direct snap to the quarterback. Jackson wants to run. They've got him wrapped up, and he'll go nowhere except down. Finally putting the stick in him is Evan Clark, playing both sides of the ball. So does Sumrall punt it here, or do they try to go for it on 4th and 7? Let's see what Shannon White and company call here with the clock moving with 8:39 left to go here in the second quarter. Sumrall leading the Aggies 7-0 in District 7 4A play. Sumrall headed to the playoffs, most likely on the road, but we won't know for sure, absolutely for sure, until the end of next week's game against the Wildcats of Greene County here at Lions Field. On 4th down, they'll go for it. Dennis Jackson rolls to his left. Now will he throw? Comes back to the other direction. Can he find anybody open? Jackson lofts it down the field. It is incomplete. Cronin was the intended receiver. Good defensive play by the Aggies' Jacoby Kidd to get a hand on it and bat it away. Nice job by Kidd to knock the ball down. So the Aggies get the football with 8:08 left to go here in the second quarter. We've heard from Arkansas tonight. We've heard from Texas, even a couple of local phone calls. Where are you tonight as we continue our Sumrall roll call at 601-310-7077. Let us know where you're watching, a particular player you're cheering for tonight. I know you're cheering for all the Bobcats, but any in particular. Devin Goolsby on the right end. They pitch it and try to sweep the right side. Devontae Dixon didn't find a lot of room over there, but was able to squirt through a hole and plunge forward for about a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. The thing with the Aggies, because they do run the football so much, because we got started about 10 minutes late, you'd expect that time to be made up because, again, the Aggies run the ball a lot, which under normal circumstances will keep that clock moving. 7-0, Rawcats lead it here, but have just turned it over on downs, and the Aggies have a 2nd down and 6. Again, a quick count. They try the exact same play, also to Dixon. Same result, about 4 over the right side. Cole Daniels, the super sophomore Cole Daniels on the stop there. Boy, is he going to be highly sought after in a couple years. We mentioned Nigel Coleman is committed to Pearl River, Coach Ted Eggers' Wildcats. Hope there's no animosity in the Coleman household. His brother Ali goes to Jones. So, boy, that could be a problem. 3rd down. And about 3 for the Aggies. They try to Dixon again, but this time he runs into nothing but powder blue, and backwards he goes. Eccles there on the stop. Solly Landrum in there. And looks like Justice Hanbury and Justice Farrall in there. So it brings up a 4th down. And we'll see if the Aggies go for it here on 4th down. I would guess that what they'll try to do here is a hard count and see if they can't get Sumrall to jump off sides. Because if they can get Sumrall to jump off sides, it'd be a 5-yard penalty, and that's exactly what they're doing. I really don't think they'll run a play here. And they call timeout. Yeah, I didn't see a cue card. I didn't see a script, but I mean, the Aggie offense is not one to really come up with elaborate plays, just straight power running, and I would think that they would rather punt the ball and try to hem the Bobcats deep in their own end rather than give them the football at midfield with 6:11 left to go here in the second quarter. The Grand Bank halftime show coming up. At halftime, our State Farm Stacy Temple trivia question coming up as well. It deals with NCAA football teams and colors. We talked about Greene County coming in here next week. Actually has something to do with Greene. Our trivia question. That's coming up momentarily. So on 4th down, they will kick it away. 7 Miranda at about the 42-yard line. Good snap, and Miranda gets the kick away. It's a high floater. Nigel Coleman will not even track it. He will let the Aggies down it and let the chips fall where they may. Looks like they'll kill it at about the 10. And the Rawcats will get to work here with 5:59 left to go in the second quarter. Something else you've noticed in this game, that very few penalties, in fact, just a couple of penalties in this football game, have also caused for it to go very quickly. So here we go with twin receivers to each side. Barry and Daniels to the far side. Cronin and Barrett to this side. Faking the handoff, and Dennis Jackson runs it himself up to about the 19-yard line. That got about 9 on the play. The Forest County Aggies, although 0-3 in district play along with Purvis, this is really the first year that the Aggies have found tough sledding, but they will be back. That is a program in South Forest County, very rich in tradition. They've got the Dixie Yellow Jackets that feed into Forest County AHS, also South Forest Attendance Center. I think they're the Rebels, but Forest County's always had great teams over the years. 5:37 left to go here in the second quarter. It's not quite a first down. They got 9 yards on the play. And one of the Sumrall coaches working toward the end zone. I think there's a youngster out there that's kind of playing near the end zone, and I think coach is just going to say, look, parents don't let her get out into the end zone if that's the call, or he is walking over and talking to some of the parents there. So we'll see. Meanwhile, back to play. Barrett has it on that stretch play, is able to avoid one of the Aggies, 2 of them, spinning his way forward, gets up to about the 31-yard line. Nice job by Barrett on the run there. That's a first down for the Cats at the 30-yard line with 5:04 left to go here in the second quarter, leading 7-0. Cronin out here to the right side. The Bobcats now in kind of a hurry-up mode. They send Barry moving to the right side, and they try to get it to Barrett, and they do at the 30. Barrett wiggles away from 1, but then gets slung out of bounds at about the 34-yard line. Man, Peyton Kolb just threw him down like a rag doll. Trust me, Barrett's tough as nails. He'll get up from it. It's no problem. But, man, Kolb had a shot at him, and he took it. Gain of 5, second down and 5 with 4.5 left to go here in the second quarter. Sumrall on homecoming night. So many great memories on homecoming night, regardless of what school that you went to. Homecoming was always special. Second down, Barrett in motion. And this play looked like it was messed up from the get-go, and I think this will go against the good guys. It will. A false start against Sumrall. Senior night next week, where all the seniors, the cheerleaders, the dance team, the band, all the seniors will be recognized next week. That's a special night as well. And I know high school kids hear all the time that these are the time of their lives, and they don't realize it until they get to be as old as some of the rest of us. But, man, great memories in high school. Second down. Jackson on the give, right straight ahead, but the Aggies were there waiting. Maybe a yard on the play. Cameron Herron on the tackle and wrapped up Tyreek Preston for maybe a gain of a yard. With 3:37 left to go here in the second quarter. Coney checking in now for the powder blue. The Bobcats waited for these powder blue uniforms about halfway through the season. They got a lot of use out of their white uniforms. They're white from head to toe, but without question, their favorite to wear are these San Diego Charger powder blue uniforms. This is a third down now and about 10. Jackson wanted to run up the middle, couldn't find anything, now streaks down the left sideline, and out of bounds he goes at about the 46. That was not the original play call, at least the direction where he was going to run. It clearly was going to go up the middle. Jackson found things clogged there and darted out to the left where he saw plenty of real estate and ran for the first down. Nice job by Dennis Jackson, the senior quarterback who was supposed to be the senior stud wide receiver, who has committed to Hotty Toddy. Hotty Toddy's got a big game tomorrow. We'll go over the college schedule for you here in a moment. 3:03 left to go here in the second quarter. Jackson gives it to Barry on the sweep. Barry looks for a blocker out front. Coney is able to bump one man out of the way. So Barry got about 4 on the play before Peyton Kolb knocked him out of bounds. So a gain of 5 brings up a second down and 5. You know that the Rawcats would like to get at least another 6 before the half. Sumrall will receive the football to begin the second half. Sumrall won the toss at the beginning of the game and deferred to the second half. So 2nd and 5 here now. Barrett and Cronin out here to the right. Barrett with the pink socks, Cronin with the white ones nearest to you. Jackson will roll to his left, throws, and had his receiver at the 28-yard line. But just beyond the fingertips. Looks like Tyler Daniels, the freshman, was down there. 21-0 now. Purvis leading, or check that, Poplarville. Poplarville is leading Purvis 21-0. That game has gone to half over in Purvis. All of our scores brought to you by our friends at Primerica Financial Services, Mike Landrum and company. 3rd down and 5 with 2:24 left to go. Aggies jumped, and this is going to cost them 5, I believe, unless they were drawn off sides, and they were. So this will go against Sumrall. I did not see any movement on the Sumrall line, but Bobcats were apparently a little bit jittery there before the snap count. So now a 3rd and 5 goes to a 3rd and 10. But they're in the spot of the field where a punt wouldn't necessarily make much sense. So you would think with 2:24 left to go, and the Aggies with only 1 timeout left according to our records, would go for it on 4th down if they needed to. I'm talking about Sumrall, of course. So 3rd down and 10. Sumrall leading 7-0. Dennis Jackson rolls to his left, wants to throw again. Can he find anybody open? Slings it towards Zane Berry, and it's batted out of the air nicely by Evan Clark. Evan Clark, from his linebacker position, knocked it down. So here comes the punting unit for Sumrall, and they will try to make sure that the Aggies get pinned deep and don't have a chance to get any pointage up before the end of the half. Payne Phillips to boot it away. Hattiesburg and Picayune playing tonight, a big 5A game over at D.I. Patrick Stadium in Hattiesburg, which of course is where the MHSAA state championship games will be played today. Phillips's punt will be fielded on the fly at about the 20-yard line by Cameron Norwood, but he was escorted out of bounds there by special teams James Ford, knocking him out. So with 2:07 left to go, the Aggies will get to work. And again, this is not an Aggie offense that is conducive to going 80 yards in 2 minutes without having a lot of timeouts. And we told you that Poplarville was beating Purvis 21-0. We'll try to get scores from other games around the area. That is a halftime score, by the way. Brandon and Oak Grove have moved to the second quarter. No score in that game. And no score at Lawrence County and Greene County. That's a big one that we're watching in Leakesville tonight. Quarterback's helmet is taken off. Cole Kendrick, they've got to stop play here because Kendrick lost his helmet. And I think that is actually a penalty. That might be a face mask call against Sumrall. But that is a dangerous situation for a kid to be out there running around with no helmet when everybody else has one on. And immediately the referees blew the whistle, which was, for the safety standpoint, the absolute right thing to do. And the Zebras discussing it at about the 17-yard line here. But I think this is going to be a face mask against Sumrall. It is a personal foul, and it is a face mask against the Rawcats. So a big gain on the play there by the Aggies. Sumrall with a couple of face mask penalties tonight. But all in all, a pretty cleanly played half by both teams. But that's a nice 15-yard shot in the arm for the Aggies as they move the football all the way up to the 40. So 1st and 10. Forest County AHS out of Brooklyn. Wanting to throw. Looking for a receiver, and Cole Kendrick overthrew Fairley, who was streaking down that sideline and had his man beat and would have gone all the way had the pass been on target. But it's incomplete. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. Bobcats have got to be careful not to get burned deep there because, again, this is an Aggie offense that likes to run the ball. But if they do throw it sometimes and catch you not thinking, it can do some damage. 2nd down. Now rolling to his right again. Kendrick is wrapped up and thrown to the ground by Cole Daniels at the 30-yard line. That's not the first or the last time that's happened. Cole Daniels, terrific player for Sumrall and just a sophomore. So a loss of about 10 on the play, 1:45 left to go. And a timeout has been called. Sumrall calls the timeout here with 1:45 left to go in the first half. Time to get to our Stacy Clark Temple State Farm trivia question. Deals with NCAA football teams. Greene County, we mentioned, comes in here next week. And here's your trivia question. There are 3 teams in the NCAA that have green as part of their mascot. Not part of the school, but part of the mascot. Like the Green Machine, even though that's purely fictitious. What are the 3 schools that have green as part of their mascot? One of them is in Conference USA. That should be easy. Southern Miss played them last week. The North Texas Mean Green. Another one is down in New Orleans that Southern Miss played for a long time. The Tulane Green Wave. But what's the third one? Nobody ever gets the third one. Up in the northeastern part of the country. It's not Marshall. They're the Thundering Herd. 1:45 left to go. Rolling to his right, throw across the middle. This pass is almost intercepted down at about the 34-yard line. So that'll bring up a 4th down and long, and Miranda will be in to kick it away for the Aggies. Marshall's colors are green and black, but the Marshall mascot is the Thundering Herd. And they come to Southern Miss, I think, in a couple of weeks. So the Mean Green of North Texas, the Green Wave of Tulane. And we'll give you the other one here in a minute. Everybody Googling the answer now, I can just tell. Miranda to kick it away, does. This might be fielded, and it is by Dennis Jackson. Jackson spins away from some tacklers, looks for some, a great block on the near side by Devin Goolsby, and Dennis Jackson is down the sideline. Is he in or did he step out? Oh, no, they're not going to get Devin Goolsby for a bad block. That was clean as could be. He got him right on the shoulder level, right on the shoulder. If they call this on Goolsby, that's not right. Because Goolsby popped him. It was a beautiful block, and they call it against Sumrall. Boy, oh boy. The defender for the Aggies was coming toward Dennis Jackson, as DJ came to the near sideline. Goolsby timed it just perfectly to where he hit the defender in the side, right at the shoulder. But alas and alack, my opinion doesn't matter. I've been told that by women for years. So Sumrall has the football at the 35-yard line with 1:15 left to go, leading this one 7-0. Nobody's come up with that third answer, the third school that has green in their name. From the 4-3-2 in Andrews, Texas. That's just north of Midland, Odessa. Shout out to the Quack Attack from the area code 432. Jackson wants to throw, looks for Cronin, who makes the catch, but he was out of bounds. And in order for Cronin to make that grab, he had to go out of bounds. Jackson was trying to hit him on that outer shoulder, but it just floated a little bit too far. 1:08 left to go. 2nd down and 10 for Sumrall, leading in this game 7-0. Again, our Stacy Clark Temple State Farm trivia question of the game. 3 schools in Division 1A football have the name Green as part of their mascot. The North Texas Mean Green, the Tulane Green Wave. What is the third one? And we asked that question because Greene County comes here next week for senior night at Lions Field. 2nd down and 10 for Sumrall. The give and go. This is Cocroft. Cocroft with a nice dart and squirts across the 50 to the 44-yard line. 58 seconds left to go, so Sumrall will have to work the 2-minute drill here. If nothing else, at least get into Bryson Smith field goal range with 58 seconds left to go. The spirit of Sumrall getting ready to perform. They were busy prior to the game, too, with the homecoming festivities, and I think that Sumrall was moving a little bit, and they were. Bobcats will get penalized 5 here. If you get a good look on the right end of the line for Sumrall, Nathan Cano, right there, number 52, he's got what looks like an oven mitt on his right hand. He actually is playing with a broken thumb. Two Bobcats actually playing with broken thumbs tonight. Cano has been playing for about 3 or 4 weeks with that broken thumb. How tough is he? 1st and 10, Dennis Jackson with a quick throw to Cronin, who's escorted out of bounds near the 35-yard line. So they will try to get at least into Bryson Smith field goal range and take a shot at the end zone. Well, it's 2nd down, maybe not, as I think out loud here. Okay, up in the Northeast, one of those fancy schmancy schools. Up in the Ivy League area, up around in there. That's we'll give you the answer here in a moment to our Stacy Clark Temple State Farm trivia question. 2nd down. Jackson wants to throw. Has some time. Can't find anybody open. Now runs to his left. Can he find anybody open now? He cannot. Avoids one tackler and then runs the football down to about the 27. Nicole is watching the game on our YouTube channel tonight from Tulsa, Oklahoma, from the area code 409. A big fan of the Quack Attack, Carson Duck. So it's enough for the 1st down, but with just 16 seconds left to go, Shannon White was saying we've been screaming for a timeout here for about the past 5 seconds. Now they finally get one. And one of the things Shannon White will ask is, can we get 3 or 4 seconds back that we were trying to get your attention? Okay, everybody give up? How about Dartmouth? Dartmouth is the big green. So only 3 Division I schools with green in their mascot: the Tulane Green Wave, the North Texas Mean Green, and the Dartmouth Big Green. Our State Farm trivia question brought to you by Sumrall agent Stacy Clark Temple. She knows how hard you work for your car and all the things in your home, and the biggest investment you'll ever make, your home itself. So make sure that your biggest investments are always protected, and she can help you do that. 13 seconds on the clock. 13 not necessarily a lucky number, but the Wildcats are hoping it'll be a lucky number for them. They lead at 7-0. A 3-yard touchdown run earlier by Tyreek Preston gave the Bobcats the 6-0 lead, and Bryson Smith's point made it 7-0. So here we go. Big play coming up here with 13 seconds left. Jackson out of the shotgun. Wants to throw. In trouble. Down he goes, and that'll probably end anything, any hope that the Bobcats have of trying to put up some points, but they'll call a timeout anyway, it would appear. And they do. So it'll be pretty easy to figure out this play. Student body to the end zone and throw it up there and see if something good might happen. Another big crowd on hand here at Sumrall, something that is amazing to behold. This is what high school football in Mississippi is all about. Everybody in Sumrall out here to cheer on the Bobcats tonight. Homecoming night. You remember who you took to homecoming last year? I do too. I doubt that she would claim me, the person that I took. Shelly Cordero I took to homecoming one year. And Mindy Richardson I took the next year. In my senior year, I would have taken Mindy Richardson again, except the court order would not allow it. so here we go. Last play of the quarter coming up for the Wildcats with 5 seconds left to go. We'll see if that's what happens here. Nope, they're going to run it. Coney to the near side. Coney finding some room down the sideline. Can he get free and beat a man? Oh, he had one man to beat. Otherwise, he'd have taken it to the house. No penalty markers on the play, so that will end the first half of play. And Sumrall will get the football to begin the second half because they won the toss and deferred to the second half. So Sumrall will get the ball when we kick off in quarter number 3. Time for the Grand Bank Halftime Show. Ready to buy or build your dream home? Well, Grand Bank has the perfect loan, from hassle-free construction financing to ideal programs for first-time home buyers. Grand Bank has become the preferred choice for home loan shoppers in the Pine Belt, wanting low rates and quality customer service they can count on. Find out for yourself. Talk to the lenders at Grand Bank in Hattiesburg and Petal, or you can call them at 264-1467. That's 264-1467. Grand Bank is your hometown bank, locally owned and operated, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender. Joining us now on the Grand Bank Halftime Show as the Spirit of Sumrall gets ready to perform is Darren Norrid. And Darren, as we welcome you, I'm sure you've had this pointed out to you before, but your last name is your first name backwards.
Yes, sir.
And what is the name in the English language that's called a something or other? Do you know what it is?
Starts with a P is all I can tell you.
Yeah, I can't, but it doesn't happen very often.
No, sir.
Like a name Otto, O-T-T-O, would be the same backwards. Well, Darren, and then you reverse it, and it's Norrid. That's neither here nor there, but just an interesting fact anyway. But good to have you here. Sheriff Riegel was supposed to be here, but couldn't make it at the last minute, and thank you for filling in. I know some things going on with the department, with the fundraising coming up,
yes,
with the drug dog. Tell us about the need for the drug dog and how we're doing in raising those funds.
Well, we're down one dog inside the sheriff's department, and the dog normally costs around $15,000 to $17,000, and we're at about, last count was about 10,000, maybe 10,500. So we need a little bit more. That's for the cost of the dog and also for the cost of the equipment that goes along with the dog, the kennels, so forth and so on.
So when you and the ability to get this dog will mean what as far as staffing goes for the department?
They had to put one dog on every shift. We're down one dog. We had to retire one. And when we retired him, we started looking for a replacement.
Now, when you say every shift, when we talk
Every
about shifts, Darren, what do we?
every platoon shift consists of 6 to 7 officers, and one of those officers has a canine with him at all times.
Okay, so really 24/7 then
Right.
we'd have a dog on duty,
Right.
so to speak.
Correct.
When you get dogs like this, I'm interested in, you say we had to retire one. What are the rules when it comes to animals like this?
It could be health. It could be health. It could be age. He could have. He could have broken his leg, so forth and so on. Most of the time, 9 out of 10 times, it's going to be the health or the age of the dog.
But I mean, is that a decision that you guys make, or is there some governing body that says dogs are good for only,
It's
whatever?
the decision that the handler makes. If the handler and the supervisor of the canine crew come to a conclusion, along with the vet, that the dog is no longer useful on the streets, then we'll retire him. And that dog goes to that handler.
And when you decide who the handlers are, how are those decisions made?
We have a sergeant, which is over the canine group, and then you got Chief Weathers and the sheriff and myself, but it's mostly consisted of the sergeant and the canine group, and it takes a special person to have a dog. I was a canine officer for a short time, and it's a special thing.
And then when you say special, because I would imagine guys would have to say, I want
Yes,
a
they
dog,
do.
right?
They do. They have to say, I want a dog, because it's 24/7 with that dog. He lives with you. He rides with you. You've got to train him every day. You've got to do something with him every day to keep his instincts up.
I have seen sometimes when I drive by Oak Grove Optimist Park that there have been officers on days where there's not activities going on at the park that they'll use the baseball fields and stuff to work the dogs.
They'll do their agility stuff out there. They'll get out and break them. They may go hide some testing in some tubes that we have. They may go hide it, let the dog go find it. It's constant training with the dog.
And I guess like anything else, like muscles in the body, if they're not used, they're not going to be as sharp.
Exactly.
So that's the purpose.
That's the purpose
of the dogs.
Right.
So who actually does the training initially, Darren, of the drug dogs? And it's not like you go online and say I want to buy a drug dog. So
it depends on where you buy them. I don't know where we're going to try to get this next one.
Right.
And I don't know who we bought the last one from, but it depends. You got to do your search. Your canine supervisor, which has had canines most of the time, he's been inside his career.
Right.
So he knows where to call. He knows who to call. He knows how to get in touch with somebody to locate the right dog. And then you send that officer out there. Him and the officer will go out there and look at the dog, test him. If he doesn't work with the handler, they go to the next one.
Now we're saying him, but does the gender of the dog matter?
Mostly males, 99%.
Because of the aggressiveness of a male,
Right.
generally? And German Shepherds seem to be the breed of choice, usually with the drug dogs.
But it's gone to Belgian Malinois now. They're thinner, they're lighter, they're faster, they're quicker, especially on not search and rescue, but on somebody's escaping from you, and they release him to go get him. They're a lot quicker and a lot faster.
Yeah, greyhounds might be the best.
Yeah, greyhound's better on that.
You
we did find out that beagles are very good.
Really?
On trailing somebody.
Well, because they can pick up that sniff and that bark.
Yes.
You can hear that bark
on that last
from a mile
escape
away.
we had here, we called in some beagles out of Louisiana, went straight to him.
That's interesting.
I say escape. It was I forgot what it was.
Yeah, but
whatever it was.
You never see a Chihuahua drug dog though, do you?
No, never seen a beagle.
Well, until not
until
a drug
about 3
dog.
months ago.
Yeah, I was going to say the Chihuahuas might be laying low anyway since Mr. Trump got elected, right? So Chihuahuas might not want to know where they're hanging out. Look, Halloween is coming up. Generally speaking, Darren, how do we behave ourselves as Lamar County during
Yes,
Halloween?
we do. Yes.
And I know you guys always have extra protection out
We do.
on Halloween. Some tips that you might have for people. I know one of the problems I have is just, and I'm glad to endure it, but when you're trying to get home from work where I live, sometimes the kids are out trick or treating, and parents are out in the cars or they're hay rides or whatever.
Right.
And it's difficult for cars to get by.
It's hard.
Yeah, what recommendations do you have for people as we near Trick or Treat, which is the 31st of October?
Well, the hours are 4 to 7 in Lamar County. I think we follow the same hours as Hattiesburg. You know, kids are going to be kids.
Sure.
And just watch for them. You got some small ones, larger ones out there trick-or-treating. Most of the kids, though, go inside of a neighborhood like Bent Creek or Canebrake or I'm not going to say Bridgefield because they're not going to be in there, but Dandridge. They try to find a neighborhood. Sandstone. They try to find a neighborhood so they can park their cars and walk those streets or use their golf carts or use their four-wheeler pulling a trailer. So the best thing is if you're trying to get by, you've got to be obvious of things in front of you. The kids darting out in front of you, just drive slow and just watch out for them.
And I think in all the interviews that I've ever done, as we see the spirit of Sumrall performing here on your HD camera, you see Sumrall leading at halftime here, 7-0 as the Grand Bank halftime show continues. I don't think I've ever really asked any law enforcement guy about this, but you know, it's homecoming weekend. A lot of things will be going on too. Young people in high school are just beginning to drive an automobile. Now, when they go to driver's ed, they're taught, you know, to watch out for yield signs and, you know, warning ahead, things like that. But I don't think in driver's ed they ever cover what to do if they are stopped for whatever reason by any law enforcement agency. If you had every ear of every kid that was just beginning to drive in Lamar County, give them some tips as to if they are stopped, what are some things that they don't need to worry about, or some of the things that they absolutely should do if they get stopped? What makes your job easier?
Of course, if you hadn't done nothing wrong, you shouldn't get pulled over to begin with.
Right. But sometimes at roadblocks, check your licenses.
If what I've told my kids, and one's driving, one's about to be driving, you know, I've been pulled over before with them in the car. My go-to is I roll every window in the car down, front and back, so the officer can see you as he's approaching. He knows you're not a threat. I put my hands on the steering wheel. I tell the kids to put their hands where they can be seen. I tell my wife to put her hands where I ain't going to say hold them up, just where they can be seen.
Maybe on the dashboard.
Not even just in your lap, just so he can see your hands. So he's not worried about it. Then his threat level will go down just a little bit.
Right.
I say threat level. His anxiousness will go down a little bit.
Sure.
Will go down a little bit. Until he approaches you. When he approaches you, he's going to ask you a couple questions, and you yes sir, no sir to him, and give him what he needs, your license and what's forth and so forth, and you should be good.
Now, if you go to reach for your license, should you not tell him I'm going to reach for my license?
You should tell him. I always tell him my license, if they're in my glove box, which normally they are if I'm traveling, my license is in my glove box. I'm going to reach for my license. Slowly. And he'll say, sure. So main thing is let your windows down, unless it's raining, of course.
Right.
But if it's a good clear night, let all the windows down.
Are there not laws now, Darren, like against tinting too much? I know that everybody used to tint their windows just to try to save on, because it gets hot in Mississippi in the summertime.
There is, and I don't know exactly what the tint is. I want to say it's 35% on the front too. Of course, all your back windows, most of the cars now come tinted back.
You know, a little bit.
So
yeah, because that obviously could be problematic, you know, as well. If you could, Darren, just talk to every legislator and say, look, I'd like you to pass this or pass that would make our job a lot easier. I'm not asking you to be political. I'm just saying, what would make your job be easier if the legislature could come up with one idea?
I would say, coming from being a city cop to being a sheriff's deputy, I would say radar for the counties. Which we do not have in the counties.
Really?
There's 3 counties in the state that have them. One's Harrison, and I don't know where the other 2 are.
Now, why are those counties allowed to have them?
They went to the legislature and got it approved through them, but it's not statewide. And as you know, most people know there's not radars in our cars. So when they go out and they're going to speed, we can stop them, of course, for careless or reckless driving. But that radar would do so much good for us because they know we have them then, and then we can just slow them down, especially in school zones. It's tough through there.
But now the Highway Patrol obviously
Patrol has them. Cities have them up to a certain population and above.
So has any effort been made to try to get you guys?
Just about every year.
Okay, and they say no?
I don't.
Well,
I don't get that far in. Something's going on.
But
I don't know what it is. Something happens.
Otherwise, you'd have them.
We'd have them. But that is, for me, that would be a plus. for us or for every county
is
would be
that,
radar.
And let's face it, 589 is not the easiest highway to travel.
And it's not to give tickets. It's just to slow them down, especially teenagers.
I was actually on 589. I had just gotten on at the seminary interchange off of 49 coming towards Sumrall. And I probably wasn't on that highway a mile and a half and was not speeding. And a deer comes running across. I just missed him.
Missed one last night doing the same thing.
Did you? So, and this is the time of year where they know the boys are going to be out after me.
And they're out.
Pretty quick. So, look, don't think deers are stupid.
And turkey, too.
Yeah.
Turkey was coming out of the subdivision this morning, coming out of Canebrake.
Okay. A lot of turkeys.
I wasn't coming out of Canebrake, but the turkey was riding right down, strutting right down the middle of the road.
Well,
everybody had to slow down.
With November next month, it's not a real good month for them.
It's
either.
not real good at all.
So between the turkey and the deer, they're heading for cover. But Darren, now we've got how many deputies, and how has that increased over the years?
Oh, it has. When the sheriff was first elected, I think we had 25, if I'm not mistaken, and we're up to 43.
Wow.
Counting auxiliary, about 48.
Okay, now you see all the time on like cars. This car was purchased with seized drug money or whatever. Tell us that process and how it works.
That comes from the interstate guys or the narcotic guys that make stop, and that has substance in the car or has money in the car that was for laundering, and then we go through a process with the DA and
that's the district
attorney.
Okay.
And then it just gets sent back to them or given back to them, or it gets forfeited over to us, or the money. So we can sell the items if it's forfeited over to us, or keep the money and put it in a forfeiture account that we can only buy law enforcement supplies out of.
I was just going to ask if you do get those monies.
It goes toward buying our vehicles. We probably bought, I'd say 75% of our vehicles with forfeiture money.
Wow.
It buys. We've never asked the Board of Supervisors, Sheriff, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we've never asked the Board of Supervisors to pay for our ammo. We bought all our ammo, all of our practice ammo, our SRT ammo, everything comes out of forfeiture. So we've never once asked the Board of Supervisors to give us money for our ammo. It comes from our forfeiture
So that
account.
is your source of funding, is the supervisors.
Right.
Okay, because the city of Purvis has its own department.
Own department.
Sumrall has its own department. Lumberton
has its own department.
So really, the Oak Grove area is the only place that doesn't have an incorporated, whatever. So you guys are fill in there. We're here at halftime. The Spirit of Sumrall just wrapping up its halftime performance. Sumrall leading here 7-0 at halftime as we talked to Darren Norwood of the Lamar County Sheriff's Department. He talked about some good safety tips coming up, for Halloween, and some of the ways that you can be safe, and how the drug money that's seized and so on, how that is earmarked for certain things. But when you talked about the drug dog, and I want to get back to that as we want to talk about raising money to get that drug dog purchased. Once you have the drug dog, though, obviously he's got to be fed. He's got to be fed. Now, is that then the supervisors then provide?
That comes out of our budget.
Okay.
So we have a line item for canines, and their vet bill and their food, and all comes out of the budget.
How has, and really, Darren, the evolution of dogs being used as a regular member of law enforcement? Dogs have been around as a regular member for about how long now? And has that changed y'all's job over the years?
I can't tell you how long they've been around. I've been in law enforcement going on 26 years.
And they've been there since you've been there?
I've been there since I've been there, and I know they were there way before I got there.
Okay.
So I can't tell you how far back. But it's just a good asset for the officers. When you pull somebody over and you suspect something and you can't find it, and you call that K9, they come look at it, run the dog through it. They either find it or they don't find it. The substance.
Now, the dog will obviously give you some kind of cue that something's up.
Gives them a cue depending on how they're trained.
Because the dog is present, do guilty parties give it up before the dog ever comes out?
Sometimes.
Or do they always deny?
Sometimes deny.
Sometimes they'll say, I'm
probably
busted.
Half and half.
I'm busted.
Yep.
And I would imagine it's better for them if they...
And they try to cover it up with all kind of stuff. I mean, they may pack it in something that they think would, especially when they transport from other states.
I do remember a story, though, one time of a buddy of mine that bought a used car, It wasn't from a regular car lot, a
Right.
corporate car lot. It was just from kind of a mom and pop car lot, and he got pulled over, and the dog went nuts. And he'd only had this car about 2 months, and apparently the previous owner had some.
Had a compartment probably.
Yeah, yeah, in the back, like toward the above the trunk and below the
Yeah.
rear window, and the guy had no idea. And I think he gets out in about 6 months. But
Can I tell them how to donate if they want to donate?
please do. Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah.
Real quick, if you like to donate toward the cause of the K9, we desperately need to put one back on the street to fill the vacancy. The address is P.O. Box 352, Purvis, Mississippi 39475. We have gotten checks as low as $5 and as much as $2,000. So you can donate what you want, how you feel.
I know as a member of the Sertoma Club, we donated $500 toward the cause, and we encourage everybody to do the same. Is there a Facebook page, Darren, or any other way that they can?
We do have a Lamar County Sheriff's Department Facebook page, and they can go on there and get some information and ask a question, then the sheriff will reply back to them.
Okay, and I'd imagine that it's a tax-deductible contribution.
Yes, it is.
And how long, once you have the money secured, how long would it take to get the canine?
It takes about anywhere from 2 to 3 months to get the trainer and the dog trained together, and then on the streets.
And about how long is the service of a dog good for? I mean, we know they live to be older, but
it ranges with the dog. Depends on how old he is when you bought him, and depends on what happens in his tenure. But most of them last 5 to 8.
So really, it would seem to me, with as many dogs as you have, there's
always a recycle.
Yeah, a constant turnover.
Right.
So that's something that you might want to consider doing on a regular basis.
Yes.
Is contributing toward the drug dog. The post office box again?
It's 352 Purvis, Mississippi.
352 Post Office Box 352 Purvis 39475, or you can look up the Lamar County Sheriff's Department Facebook page and more information how you can contribute to get our county another drug dog, so that all of the shift commanders have a dog on duty 24/7 to protect us all in Lamar County. Darren, Nora, that wasn't difficult.
No.
Not too bad.
Always easy with you.
I appreciate that. That's the biggest compliment you could give me. Leads here at halftime 7-0, and they will get the football to begin the second half. We're going to deaden the mics for just a moment with a couple of minutes prior to the second half of play. When the game resumes, we'll be back with you. Bobcats looking to get back on the winning streak after a 2-game road trip that they were beaten at Lawrence County and at Poplarville. Obtaining a home loan is easier from your hometown bank, Grand Bank. Grand Bank has become the preferred choice for home buyers in the Pine Belt wanting low interest rates and hometown service they can count on. Whether you're looking for your first home, your next home, or refinancing your current home, Grand Bank will make it easy. Locally owned and operated, their home is right here, and they want to help you with yours. Give them a call at 601-264-1467, 264-1467. Grand Bank is your hometown lender. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. You are watching Sumrall Bobcat football on our YouTube channel. Bobcats leading Forest County 7-0. Homecoming here on campus. We'll be back with the second half in just a moment. Kelly Sander back with you at Lions Field here in Sumrall, where the Bobcats will get the football to begin the second half, leading this game 7-0. We want to thank our friends at Grand Bank for sponsoring our halftime show. Always good to talk to Darren Nord of the Lamar County Sheriff's Department. Talk to the guys whose job every day it is to protect us. Always good to know that they're on the job and certainly take their job very seriously. So the Aggies to kick it away here as we begin the second half. Wes Dubose waiting for the indicator from the officials, and it is a squibber that is fielded. The ball is pounced on at about the 38-yard line. It looks like Cronin was over there to hang on to it. So it'll be first down now for Sumrall, working left to right. We've heard from you all over the country tonight. Glad to have you with us. Bobcats having trouble putting some points on the board tonight, having trouble getting the offense cranked up a little bit. Want to see him back down there inside the 20, inside that Sumrall lawn care red zone. 1st and 10. On the handoff, it's Tyreek Preston. Look at Preston. Ahead for about a gain of 12, up to about the 50-yard line. Nice run on the play there by Tyreek, who gets the football right there as it kind of dissects the 50-yard line. Tyreek, a senior, he'll be honored next week as part of senior night here at Lions Field. Again, the handoff, but he is stood up and pushed backwards. Good defensive play by Gage Glover. If we were calling a defensive player of the game tonight for Forest County, without question it would be Glover. He's been all over the field tonight. A loss on the play of about a yard brings up 2nd down and 11. He was stood up and pushed back. Bobcats with the football here to begin the third quarter of play. Checking the Primerica Financial Services scoreboard. Purvis trailing Poplarville 42-0. That game is in the third quarter at Purvis. Dennis Jackson breaks free and gets to that sideline and does the hurdle to get down to about the 27-yard line. Nice job. Dylan Lozana was the man to knock him out of bounds. So Dennis got up to about the, or down I should say, to about the 34-yard line. And that's another first down for Sumrall. Oak Grove leading Brandon 7-0 in a big region game for the Warriors. The Warriors could win that district still. They have to play Pearl yet. Handoff this time to Cocroft, who is wrapped up and dumped back at the 35-yard line. No gain on the play. And Peyton Kolb on the tackle this time. So with the Aggies starting a lot of underclassmen on that other side of the ball, you can certainly see that they have reason to be optimistic for a couple of years to come. Kolb is just a junior. On the handoff to Cocroft. Cocroft breaks free from a couple of tacklers and is able to wiggle his way down to about the 26-yard line before Glover, who's another junior, made the tackle. Boy, Glover has had a terrific ball game, but that's a pickup of about 8. 3rd down and about 2 as we get inside of 10 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. This is the first possession of the second half. Sumrall looking to extend a 7-0 lead. Tyreek Preston has it this time. Glover is draped all over him, but Preston is able to get down to the 19, and that'll move the chains. They'll spot it at the 20, so that'll move the chains. Coney comes in for Sumrall, and Tyreek Preston checks out. Shannon White continuing to keep some fresh legs in the game in that backfield. And the more that the Bobcats can run the football, that's less pressure on Dennis Jackson. They give it to Coney. Coney's so fast, gets to the outside, cuts it back in. Now back out. Coney is into the end zone. That's a Bobcat touchdown. What a terrific run by Darren Coney, who's just a junior. Wow, is he fast. And you see the students with the cat flags running down here below us. No flags, that play will stand. And Bryson Smith out of the hold of Marshall Phillips to make this a 14-0 ball game. The kick is up, and it is good. With 9:25 left to go in the third quarter, Sumrall leads it 14-0. Dandy Dan's Chevron in Sumrall is the go-to one-stop shop in Sumrall. Open at 6 a.m. Whether you need a quick soft drink or maybe different types of fuel, Dandy Dan's, like the Bobcat defense, won't let you down. Dandy Dan's Chevron in Sumrall is proud to sponsor the offensive player of the game. Dandy Dan's in Sumrall on Highway 42, right across from the middle school. Again, open at 6 a.m. Hattiesburg Children's Clinic, sponsor of our post-game show. Dr. April Gilmore, who is a Sumrall graduate. She was April McGilvery when she was a student. A couple sisters, I think, also go to, I think Daphne was her older sister, went to Sumrall. She's one of the physicians at Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic. They sponsor the post-game show. We'll tell you more about them in just a few moments. Smith ready to kick it away. See how the Aggie defense can protect this lead now. This is a low worm burner. That'll be, two guys for the Aggies thought the other one was going to get it, and it rolled right between them. And so it was Justin Williams back there to kind of fend for himself. And he got wrapped up right away. Gilbert Puerto was in the area for the Bobcats, along with some other of the powder blue uniforms. 9:19 left to go in the third, and the Aggies trailing 14-0. Bobcat defense has been an area that everybody thought would be tough this year with that solid defensive line with Solomon Landrum, Cole Daniels, Justice Hanberry, and Nick Eccles. 1st and 10. Cole Kendrick is at quarterback. Now they shift to the left side. Kendrick will go under center on 1st down. They try the left side. Not a whole lot of room there for Fairley, and he is dropped actually behind the line of scrimmage. Nigel Coleman there, who committed to Pearl River Community College this week. They actually give him a yard on the play. So 2nd down and 9 upcoming with 9 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Still have not gotten a score from Greene County and Lawrence County. Oak Grove has extended its lead over Brandon 13-0. The Warriors looking to, that'd be a huge win for Coach Drew Causey and his Warrior coaching staff. 2nd down and 9. They'll try this time the right side. Daniels wraps him up and throws him backward. Fairly no way to go. When you try to, Cole Daniels shook off a block. They were trying to seal him off on that end, and Daniels spun around and made the play. A loss of 2 brings up a 3rd down and 11 for the Aggies. With 8:12 and moving, you see the clock up there in the upper left-hand corner. Boy, Jeremy Thompson and Richard Thompson, they do a great job of, and our camera guys upstairs, keeping you right there in the action in HD. I got a little nod from our camera guy up there. 7:55 left to go. They pitch it to Dixon. Dixon was just trying to maybe get further up ahead where they would have a little more room to kick it away. So the punting unit comes in for Forest County. And Barrett will retreat for the Rollcats. Cruz Freeman in. Special teams play for Sumrall as Nigel Coleman checks out. Clock moving with 7:25 left to go here in the third. And 7 Miranda at the 5-yard line. Kicks this one away, gets a good boot. And they kick it away from Barrett. They were not going to give him an opportunity to run it back. It actually now takes a small Sumrall bounce, and the Bobcats will start at their own 40-yard line and have just a 60-yard field ahead of them. Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic is committed to the care and well-being of your child from birth to adolescence. Children's Clinic is open daily and offers immunizations, monitors your child's growth and development, and treats a wide range of childhood illnesses. HattiesburgClinic.com is where you can go to schedule an appointment, or you can call them at 261-3500. 261-3500. Children's Clinic, care you need for the children you love. Glad to have them with us as first-year sponsors on the Bobcat webcasts. 1st and 10, bad snap, ball is loose. Aggies have it. Evan Clark, the linebacker, got in there and sniffed it out. And just like that, Sumrall, the defense, which was on the sideline getting a breather, is now called into action here again. From the 830 area code, more Quack Attack fans. Boy, Carson Duck, you'd think he's Justin Bieber, man. way that people text in for the Quack Attack. He's out there right now wearing jersey number 44 with that towel hanging out the back. 1st and 10 for the Aggies as they get to work at the 35-yard line of Sumrall with 7:03 left to go. They pitch it and try that right side again. This time it's Jamal Myers, his first carry of the night, and Jamal Myers is able to find some room. Myers gets up for a gain of about 5. Looked like Nick Eccles was in there on the stop. 2nd down and about short. That's one of the biggest gains that the Aggies have had tonight. Almost exclusively on the ground. They have had a couple of pass plays, but have really looked out of sorts when they've had to go to the air. 2nd down. Aggies with a lone receiver out here to the near side. They try it again to Myers. The exact same play, and again a good result. Aggies ahead for a 1st down at about the 24-yard line. Bobcats have got to seal off that left side over there. That'll move the chains. The Aggies now, that momentum meter swinging a little bit toward the Aggies here, although the Sumrall Bobcats have a 14-point cushion here. 1st and 10 at the 24 of the Rawcats. Cole Kendrick at quarterback. The exact same play again. This time the ball comes loose, and I believe the Bobcats have it. They do. At the 27-yard line. So tit for tat as it turns out. So just like that, the defense creates a turnover, and Dennis Jackson and company will be pressed into service. Sumrall leading 14-0. Our scoreboard camera off just a hair. There we go. Whoop. Just a hair the other way. Other way. Nope, too far. Keep going that direction. Keep going. Keep going. Nope, too far. Back to action. Dennis Jackson with the run. Jackson's streaking down the near sideline. Jackson, one man to beat. Dennis Jackson to the end zone. That's a Bobcat touchdown. That's 75 yards. 75-yard jaunt by Dennis Jackson. So Bryson Smith on to add the extra point. There's Uncle Ernie checking in. Let's go Rawcats. Feed it to Tweeter on the hashtag there from Uncle Ernie. Uncle Ernie, it's been the second half. Each game he's been calling in here. I don't know what the story is. You need to get in a little bit quicker than that, Uncle Ernie. Get these Bobcats off to a better first half start. They are listening in Logansport, Louisiana. Anna James, a big fan of the Quack Attack, texting in from the 830 area code. And from the 432 again, Carson Duck, tear down the house. Deb in Columbus, Indiana, rooting for you. Deb never did tell us how far Columbus, Indiana is from Columbus, Ohio. There's actually Columbus, Mississippi, too. That's probably one of those city names that just about every state has one. So 20-0. This extra point kick is low, but it gets through. And that makes it 21-0. Sumrall leads it in the third quarter, 21-0. Coming up at the end of the game, the Dandy Dans, Chevron, and Bellevue and Sumrall offensive and defensive players of the game. And the Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic post-game show to tell you what's up with the rest of District 7 4A and where the Bobcats go from here. As we mentioned, it just didn't seem long ago at all that the season began. And here the regular season beginning to wind down. Tonight and next week, the last regular season games for Sumrall. Bobcats comfortably in the playoffs. Just don't know where exactly yet. Uncle Ernie said he feels like an Ole Miss Rebel fan where everything happens in the second half. The only difference, Uncle Ernie, is Sumrall has a defense. Ole Miss struggling a little bit. It's just a joke. We love the Rebels. There's a low liner that will be fielded at about the 16-yard line. Picking it up there is Cameron Norwood, and he is engulfed at about the 18-yard line and pushed backwards. We'll see where the forward progress momentum will be spotted here. But the Sumrall defense now beginning to smell blood a little bit, leading 21-0. Come back out onto the field to try to keep the Aggies at bay. At last report, Oak Grove was leading 14-0, but Brandon has put up a touchdown now, 14-6. That game is over at Warrior Field, 14-6, Oak Grove over Brandon. Poplarville leading Purvis 42-0. There's a pass complete up to about the 30-yard line, one of the few passes that the Aggies throw. And making the catch there for the Aggies was Evan Clark. Evan Clark, who also plays linebacker as well as wide receiver. Lumberton and Resurrection Catholic will play tomorrow night at 7. And again, no score yet. We've heard no score at all out of Greene County. The Wildcats against the Lawrence County Cougars, and Bobcat fans want Lawrence County to be beaten by Greene County. You want the Wildcats to win that game and give Lawrence County a second loss. That's if the Bobcats are to get a 2 seed possibly. On the sweep, on the pitch sweep right side, Fairley the ball carrier. Got about 2 or 3 on that play. They have consistently tried to pound the left side of the defensive front of Sumrall almost all night long. They've wanted nothing to do with the right side, but it's not trick or treat either way, because you got Daniels on one side and you got Solly Landrum on the other. Somebody texted in and said, fix your scoreboard. Well, we did. Wolfman got it working just right. 21-0. That's the accurate score. Cole Kendrick wanting to throw. Can't find anybody open. He'll run it himself. Gets tripped up at about the 35-yard line. That's a gain of about 5 on the play. As we get south of 4 minutes left to go in the third quarter, Sumrall leading Forest County 21-0 here on homecoming night in Sumrall. 3rd down and 5 upcoming. Yeah, that guessed, you don't see the left scoring number, but you don't need to, because that is, the Aggies have been shut out so far. 21-0. Good work tonight by our camera guys. You see the powder blues that Sumrall sporting here on our YouTube channel. 3rd down and 5. The Aggies huddled close together. Quick pass. That looked almost like a backward pass to Jacoby Kidd, and Kidd gets up to about the 37-yard line. He was being monitored there by Cruz Freeman and Ashanti Cocroft, but short of the first down by about 2 yards. So what do the Aggies do here? Of course, they figure down 21-0. They have very little to lose and have to pick up 3 yards. Digger Freeman comes out. Nigel Coleman back in for Sumrall. Evan Clark checking out for the Aggies with 3:21 left to go in the third. They might try to get Sumrall to jump off sides again. We'll see, because this is really deep in their own territory at only the 37-yard line. Nope, quick count. They go for it. Handoff, tripped up, and I believe he got the first down. Gutsy call by Brad Calcote to go for it on fourth, but I think Jabori Fairley got the first down. And they did. They'll move the chains. Tate Davis was into the ball game momentarily. Boy, Tate Davis is a good kid, isn't he? Just a junior. He'll be back. But you look at the talent cupboards of Sumrall. There's talent all throughout the different classifications. This senior class is indeed something. Pitch, they try the right side. Finds a little bit of a hole over there for Fairley. Again, the way that they churn out yardage, it's just not conducive. After Daniel stopped him, it's just not conducive to putting up big plays and coming from behind. So 21-0 here. Somebody said that they couldn't see something on their scoreboard. Well, I don't know what may be going on your end, but right here I'm looking at the feed, and you got a complete view of the scoreboard. So I don't know what's up. Second down. They try the same play, and wrapping up the ball carrier Fairley as he's pushed backward. Goolsby was in there to push him backwards. Daniel's also there to give aid. No gain on the play. Brings up a third down and about 8 as we get near 2 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Sumrall leads it 21-0 against the Forest County Aggies. The Aggies and the Tornadoes of Purvis each came in with 0-3 records. Lawrence County and Poplarville will finish the regular season next week. Sumrall and Greene County on the schedule next week, and Purvis and Forest County AHS will play each other. So one of those teams will win a game. Illegal substitution against the Aggies. That's not to say that this one is over yet, but obviously with each second that ticks off the clock, the Bobcats are in better shape here, leading 21-0 and leaving in the hands of a very able defense. Darren Coney checking out. Sumrall did obviously lose to Poplarville last week down in Pop Vegas, but the Sumrall defense did a better job than any other team in the region, holding the Hornets at bay better than anybody. 1:26 and moving. You see the clock in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. Third down and 12. Kendrick wants to throw. He was hit by Duck. Carson Duck, the quack attack, put a lick on him from the backside, and that caused the pass to go awry. So the quack attack was flying in there and put a beak right in his back. So they'll kick it away, will the Aggies. Seven Miranda, the senior fullback and a defensive tackle. You don't really see many fullbacks and defensive tackles double as the punter. But he's back to kick it away. And again, they continue to kick it away from Barrett. And Barrett, rather than take it on one bounce, will let it go inside the 20. And Sumrall will set up shop there with 1:03 left to go here in the third quarter. I want to thank all of our sponsors who make our webcasts possible. Sumrall Lawn Center, Stacy Clark Temple, your State Farm agent here in Sumrall. Our friends at Grand Bank, Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic, Dandy Dan Chevron in Bellevue and Sumrall, the Lamar County Board of Supervisors as well, and our friends at Primerica Financial Services. If you have need for their goods and services, any of our sponsors, we hope that you will patronize our sponsors and let them know that you appreciate them putting their money where their mouth is and allowing Sumrall football to be on the web. 1st and 10, handoff right straight ahead as you would expect the Bobcats to work on the clock a little bit. Gain of about 3 straight ahead. Final score from Purvis tonight, Poplarville 49, Purvis nothing. Poplarville 49, Purvis nothing. All of our scores brought to you by our friends at Primerica Financial Services. Second down. Dennis Jackson still in there at quarterback. The give to Tyreek Preston, and he is stood up after maybe a gain of a yard. Making the stop there is Dylan Lozana, the junior outside linebacker. So it brings up a 3rd down and about 5. And I don't think the Bobcats look like they might snap it here before the end of the quarter. They don't have to. But Jackson will. And they'll run a play. And it's Preston trying the right side. Gets up to about the 30. He had Peyton Cole draped all over him. But got, I think, enough for the 1st down. And that'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. At the end of 3, Sumrall 21. The Forest County AHS Aggies, nothing. Glad that you're with us here on our YouTube channel. You can follow me on Twitter at Kelly Sanner. It shows you how old I am. I got my name on Twitter. And, of course, all of the Sumrall communications on social media are all under the Sumrall Athletics title. So whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those sorts of things. Sumrall Athletics on YouTube as well, which is where our games originate live each week. Our camera guys do such a good job, and they're so conscientious. These Sumrall kids are really, really good. Hardworking, dedicated. They call me Mr. Sanner, Wolfman. Mr. Sanner. How about that? Yeah. 12 minutes left to go. Some of the Bobcats have those 4 fingers in the air. Say it takes 4 quarters to play a game, and that's for sure. 1st and 10. Bobcats to work with Dennis Jackson still calling the shots. Tyreek Preston breaks free and gets across the 40 to the 45-yard line, a pickup of 15 on the play. Nice run by Tyreek Preston. He was tackled by Cameron Norwood. Norwood on the tackle. So checking out of the ball game is Tate Davis. Cronin to the near side. Matthew Cronin, wing right for Sumrall. Tyreek Preston runs the exact same play and gets thrown across the 50-yard line into Aggie territory at about the 49-yard line. It looks like now to me that the Aggie defense is just beginning to wear down a little bit. Shannon White continues to shuttle in fresh legs. You got all kinds of guys running the football. Darren Coney's been in there. Cocroft has been in there. Tyreek Preston has run the ball. And here's Cocroft with another fresh set of legs and runs that same play over the right side. Got near 1st down yardage, might be a yard short. Lawson Graves doing a good job on the offensive line. Solomon Landrum playing both sides of the ball. So is Hanberry. So 3rd down and about a yard to go. 10 minutes, 48 seconds left to go in the game. This time it's Preston. Again working that right side, and again enough for a 1st down to about the 40. Sumrall in command here. Now trying to forge a friendship with the clock. Poplarville has already beaten Purvis, so the Hornets solidify that number 1 seed in the playoffs. Oak Grove continues to lead Brandon. That's 14-6. Lumberton will play tomorrow night down on the coast. There's a minimal gain by Cocroft. Well, I say minimal gain, but gosh, forward progress got him about 4. The Aggies are just gassed now. You got guys playing both sides of the ball there, and Austin McNeese is wobbling just a little bit. Coming out for the Aggies is Wes Dubose. Checking into the game is Peyton Roberts. 2nd down and 5 for the Rawcats. They lead it 21-0. They fake it to Cocroft, and Dennis Jackson will run it, but he is spun around. Initially, Peyton Roberts was able to get a hand on him until some other cavalry came in to help, and Evan Clark put the nail in him. Got a yard on the play, brings up a 3rd down and 4. We'll have our Dandy Dans of Chevron, Dandy Dan's Chevron in Bellevue and Sumrall. Offensive and defensive players of the game, and then the Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic post-game show. There's a run down to about the 31-yard line. Again, Tyreek Preston. When you have running back after running back that can come in with fresh legs and just wear the Aggies down, it's quite an arsenal for Sumrall and quite an advantage. We can keep the fresh legs in there. And all Dennis Jackson has to do is stand back there and let them run. Down to the 25-yard line. That's Preston, and that's another first down. Once the chains are set, the clock will run again with 9:10 left to go. You see the scoreboard up in the upper left-hand corner. 21-0 Wildcats. Only put up 7 points in the first half, but 14 points in the third quarter. And that's where we are. And looking for more here on a first down play. I would not expect them to pass a whole lot with this lead. Ball's on the ground. The ball is fumbled. Will they say he was down? Dennis Jackson's coming off the field. But I'm not sure that Dennis has been told that they're keeping control of the ball. Here he comes back out now again. Dennis Jackson thought that ball was live and that the Aggies had covered it. Boy, a big break for the Wildcats there, because the Aggies did have it. But the only explanation possible is that they had already whistled the play dead. So 2nd down and 10 after the no gain. Flag on the play. Cocroft trying to string out the Aggie defense, and he gets popped and knocked into the fence on the far side of the field, but a penalty marker flew early in this play. We'll get the call here coming up. We've got a personal foul, face mask, against the Aggies. So with 8:08 left to go, that'll just march Sumrall down the field a little bit further. Christy Martin texted in, wanted to specifically give a shout out to the Wolfman. Wolfman doing our statistics over here to the left, and a fine job he does. Didn't know you were that popular, huh, Wolfman? Yeah. Getting a little publicity down the road down there in Folsom, Louisiana. So they spot the penalty yardage down to about the 10. And they've got to set the chains. I don't know if the chain gang with the ball at the 10 or just maybe outside the 10. I think what the linesman is asking is, can Sumrall get a first down inside the 1-yard line? Or is it a first and goal? Clock is stopped with 8:08 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Sumrall leads at 21-0. Purvis has already been beaten tonight by Poplarville. They were shut out over at Purvis tonight. But the big game, of course, is over in Leakesville, and we have not had any report at all from Lawrence County and Greene County. Bobcat Nation, if you can help us out with that, you've got our text number, let us know. Greene County and Lawrence County wanting the Wildcats to win that game. Handoff to Coney, cuts it back inside. Coney inside the 10, down to about the 7-yard line. Tate Davis had a good lead block out there. Gage Glover now beginning to show signs of wear and tear. Made the tackle from his linebacker position. So they're spotted at the 7. Boy, love Darren Coney. Coney, he can run. Looking for his blockers, cuts it inside. Coney still working. Not very big, but carrying Aggies with him. Gets down to about the 1-yard line where Evan Clark finally put him to rest there. Darren Coney in the backfield with Dennis Jackson. Give it to Coney here or Dennis? Coney into the end zone. That's a Bobcat touchdown. Boy, they have looked much better offensively. Needless to say, not very often. And Kerrigan Childs, who's already been put into the Sumrall record book this year as the first girl to ever be in a football game, comes to kick this extra point, and it is good. How about that? There is a flag on the play, though. Looks like it was against the Aggies, and they'll enforce it on the kickoff. If you're Kerrigan's dad, you're going, I spent all that money for a dress, and she wore it for about 10 minutes, and then has to go put a football uniform on. But, Dad, that's all part of it. Daughters are awesome. 7:04 left to go in the ball game. Sumrall leads it 28-0. All of our scores brought to you by our friends at Primerica Financial Services. College football games tomorrow. Southern Miss has homecoming on campus. They're hosting Texas San Antonio. That's a 6 o'clock kickoff. Mississippi State goes down to Baton Rouge. Death Valley to take on the LSU Tigers, where people are still trying to figure out what Ed Orgeron is saying. And the first game tomorrow of the Big Three, Ole Miss at home, tomorrow at 11 in the morning, taking on the Auburn Tigers. Boy, it has been a struggle the last couple of weeks for Auburn. Brandon trailing Oak Grove 14-6. Both of those teams undefeated in region play. That would set up a showdown, Oak Grove and Pearl, next week. Both of those teams are undefeated. After that penalty marked off against the Aggies, Bryson Smith, boy, he's got to feel like a stud here, getting the kick from the 45-yard line, and kicks it all the way into the end zone. So the Aggies will start 1st and 10 with 7:04 left to go. Lumberton, again, as we mentioned, will play Resurrection Catholic tomorrow night down on the coast. Well, Southern Miss really needs to get that win tomorrow. After losing to the Mean Green of North Texas last week, it's always good to get a homecoming win. Just ask the Sumrall guys here tonight, as they are on their way here with a 28-0 lead with 7:04 left to go in this contest. No, Texas San Antonio. Let's see who they play. If I said Marshall, I was mistaken. It's Texas San Antonio, the Roadrunners. Whoop, one of the Bobcats jumped off sides, and that'll bring a whistle. It is offsides against Sumrall. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. Been doing this as long as I have. Sometimes, you make one of those mistakes, but when you've got the personality I have and nobody's listening to you anyway, very often do they not even notice. But 7:03 left to go. 1st down and 5 for the Aggies. Again, a quick count, quick pass out into the flat. Pass is caught by Jacoby Kidd, but he is wrapped up and dropped. But another penalty marker, it appears, is down at about the 20-yard line. Very cleanly played game by both teams up to this point. This is against Sumrall. That is the 3rd face mask penalty tonight for Sumrall. The Bobcats have got to get those paws down just a little bit. 6 minutes, 53 seconds left to go in this contest. Sumrall big, 28-0 over the Aggies. They are poised for a homecoming win here tonight. Pitch and the sweep in the backfield and nowhere to go. Great play by Cocroft. Ashanti Cocroft, the senior, into the backfield for a loss of about 3 on the play. On 2nd down and 13, and you got to give the Aggie kids a lot of credit too, because as I mentioned, it's been a tough season for them with just 1 win. But they're out there working hard, trying to get better. Pass again out into that, to the quick far sideline to Jacoby Kidd. And he got pushed out of bounds right where he caught it. So really no gain there per se. And brings up a 3rd down and about 13. The Sumrall defense looking to pitch the goose egg tonight. As we mentioned, Sumrall did not play badly last week at Poplarville. And you saw Purvis tonight gave up, 48 to Poplarville. So that Hornet offense knows what it's doing. Rolling to his left, it's Kendrick. He's got his receiver. It is out to the 47-yard line. First completion of the night goes to Ethan Watts. Or is that Jacoby Kidd? No, it is Watts. Watts makes his first catch of the night, and it's a big one, a first down play for the Aggies up to the 47-yard line. And that's we were talking about when you continue to run the ball, the linebackers then don't necessarily respect the pass, and you can sometimes gouge them for a big one, and that's what happened there. On first down, another pass out to the sideline. That again is Ethan Watts, the junior receiver, 6-footer. Samantha in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. From the 918 area code, a big fan of the Quack Attack. Are we sure that the Quack Attack is not Justin Bieber in disguise? I'm telling you. He's getting calls from all over the country. Of course, I do too, but they're telemarketers. You know, I don't want those kind of calls. Second down after a gain of 3. Looking to pass again. Nothing to the, then cutting back in the middle. Nice play, but the Quack Attack wraps him up. Cole Kendrick goes down after a minimal gain. Kendrick was lucky to get that yardage because he was really being pursued there by Eccles and Landrum. But he was able to wiggle right between them. And the Quack Attack drilled him short of the first down. Third down and about 3 now. Clock moving with 5:17 left to go. 5:15 now. You would think that the Aggies would go for it even if they don't get it here. On third down. Kendrick is flushed from the pocket and down he goes. He is wrapped up and dropped. Great play defensively. The Bobcats brought Barrett in on a blitz, and I think Barrett got him on the far side of the field. Hayden Barrett brings up on the 6-yard loss, brings down a 4th down and 9. And the Aggies will go for it. 4 minutes, 38 seconds left to go in the ball game. Hayden Barrett has played some good football tonight. Darren Coney offensively has looked good. On the 4th down play, pass is intercepted. Penalty marker comes down. This may go against Sumrall. Nigel Coleman has snagged it. Nigel Coleman trying to get into the end zone. He gets into the end zone, but will this one come back on a pass interference call against Sumrall? For the time being, Coleman is in to the end zone. And the reason I say it probably will go against Sumrall on the pass interference, as soon as he intercepted that ball, the flags came out. Which under those circumstances usually means a pass interference. And the Bobcats themselves, after making a great play, aren't too excited, so I think they're reading between the lines here, thinking that it'll go against the powder blue. With 4:06 left to go in the contest. And we do get a pass interference call against the Bobcats. Coleman looked like $1 million returning it, though, didn't he? Looked where his blockers were and found the rays of daylight and ran right to him. So now, after that 4th and 9 play, this will be a first down for the Aggies, and Sumrall has called a timeout. So the Aggies will have it 1st and 10 at the Sumrall 37-yard line. And one of the things that Coach Chris Fortenberry, I'm sure, is talking over with his defense is, look, you guys, it's not like the sun's not going to come up tomorrow, but you've played so well tonight to pitch this shutout, finish the job. Brandon Harrison is in there, a very highly talented freshman in the backfield for Sumrall. So is Cruz Digger Freeman. James Ford also in there for Sumrall. So a lot of freshmen in that lineup. The pitch to Jabori Fairley. Gets down to about the 29. Now, if you're the Aggies, you want to try to get that goose egg off of the scoreboard. Fairley picked up about 8 on that play. And the Aggies do not want to dawdle here because the clock continues to roll. With 3:36 left to go, Sumrall has this game in hand. Wanting to pass. Floating this ball up, and it is tipped and then caught. It was tipped by one of the Bobcats and right to Ethan Watts. Boy, a tough break for Sumrall. The defenders were there, and the ball got tipped, and when it tipped, it fell right to Ethan Watts. Wow. Christmas came early for Ethan Watts there at the 8-yard line. And they'll move the chains. So 1st and goal for the Aggies. They are inside the Sumrall Lawn Care red zone. Handoff to the first man through. Netting some yardage down to maybe the 5. And is that? It is actually inside the 5 at about the 4.5-yard line. 2 minutes, 45 seconds left to go in the game. Sumrall's defense with its stiffest challenge here of the night. 2nd down and goal for the Aggies. Cole Kendrick under center. Handoff again, up the middle, into the end zone for an Aggie touchdown. That's Gage Glover. Tough break for Sumrall. They had the shutout. And then that tipped play, which the defenders were doing what they were supposed to do and try to bat that ball down, but when they did, it was batted right into the arms. Of Jacoby Kidd. So Dubose on to kick the extra point. This ball is blocked, and Freeman will cover it for good measure. The kick is no good with 2 minutes, 30 seconds left to go in the ball game. Sumrall 28, and the Aggies of Forest County 6. We told you that Purvis was already beaten tonight by Poplarville. The only other game in the district was the one over in Greene County that we still have not gotten a score on. There's been nothing out of Leakesville tonight. Brandon has taken the lead in the 4th quarter over Oak Grove, 21-14. Poplarville over Purvis, 49-0, and Lumberton plays tomorrow night. All of our scores brought to you by our friends at Primerica Financial Services, Mike Landerman Company. So, boy, that would be a tough one for Oak Grove to squander when the Warriors led it most of the game. So the Aggies to kick it away with 2:30 left to go. Gabe Cocroft, one of the 2 Cocrofts on this team, but the one that will return next season. Of course, the Aggies are going to kick this onside, you would think. So all the guys with sticky fingers up there in the line, there is the onside kick. And it might have gotten out of bounds. It did, so Sumrall will get its choice there. And in at quarterback is going to be John Ford, the freshman. And you would look for Ford to be the future of this program at that signal calling position. Marshall Phillips in the game now. Brandon Harrison we talked about to the near side, wearing number 17. Now he's coming out. And Liam Munn, a sophomore, is in for Sumrall. Varnado actually in the backfield on the run. Oh, there's a face mask. There's flags all over the place there. The Aggies trying to strip the ball loose. But, man, that was horrific the way they grabbed the face mask of Garrison Musgrove and spun his head around. Lost yardage on the play, but it's not going to matter because of the 15-yarder against the Aggies here. Trying to finish this one up. Shannon White getting some of the younger Bobcats in the game so they can sharpen their teeth a little bit. Because you never know when you make a playoff run who you're going to have to use. Really, the Bobcats have been pretty fortunate all in all, injury-wise, other than, of course, the big one to the guy who was penciled to be the starting quarterback all year, Billy Garrity, before the season started. Give and go again to Musgrove. They might again got him by the face mask, but no flag on this play. And he's ahead for a gain of about 3. Tanner Lee made the tackle for the Aggies as we're inside of 2 minutes now left to go in the game. Again, these younger Bobcats are going to want to try to get as many reps as they can in here. Ford, a tall drink of water. They put Marshall Phillips in motion. Phillips will run it. Marshall Phillips looking for an opening. Spins inside the 30, gets down to about the 28-yard line. Marshall Phillips, the younger brother of Payne Phillips. A really gifted athlete. And in his younger years, you thought Marshall might be a little bit on the vertically challenged side, but he is really growing tall very quickly. Here's a handoff. Down at about the 20-yard line. And this time the ball carrier for Sumrall is J.J. Parker, another freshman. So with 1:12 left to go, Bobcats move the chains at the Aggie 21-yard line. Sumrall is going to win its homecoming game and set up the showdown with Greene County next week. Parker again, but this time not as lucky as he got wrapped up with Peyton Kolb. Kolb has had a really, really good night defensively, and he has not stopped trying, which says a lot when a team gets down. And Peyton Kolb just a junior, so he's got another year with the Aggies. 42 seconds left to go, second down. They bring the blitz, faking the handoff. He will run it himself, and John Ford can only navigate a gain of about 2 there. The Bobcats may run one more play. And if they do run one more play, that would be it. 14 seconds. They really don't have to run another play. But I think that they will here with 6 seconds left. Ford asks for the football. Hands it off right straight up the middle to J.J. Parker. And we're at zeros. Final score tonight from Lions Field here in Sumrall. The Bobcats 28. The Forest County Aggies 6. It's a homecoming win for Sumrall. Time to name our offensive and defensive players of the game, brought to you by Dandy Dan's Chevron in Sumrall and Dandy Dan's Chevron in Bellevue. They always have fresh, always hot coffees, different types of fuel to choose from, soft drinks, whatever you need. Where things need to be cold, they're cold, and the coffee is hot. The smiles and welcomes are warm. Dandy Dan's and Chevron. Dandy Dan's Chevron in Sumrall and Bellevue. Proud to support Bobcat football and all the schools in the South Mississippi area. Darren Coney gets the offensive player of the game tonight. I think you saw some flashes of brilliance from him. The way that he was able to cut up the field, and he's just so quick side to side. And had a touchdown there, I believe, late in the ball game. Tyreek Preston, with a touchdown. Greene County is leading Lawrence County. Thank you for that. From the 6:01, Greene County 41, Lawrence County 20, with 3 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. That is great news as far as Sumrall maybe getting a 2 seed. If that score holds, then it'd be a real battle next Friday night for potentially a 2 seed in the playoff. Now here comes the student body. onto the field. We mentioned Darren Coney, the offensive player of the game. Devin Goolsby with that great tackle. Even though they called it illegally, it was not an illegal tackle from our point of view, although not criticizing the officials. We just had a little bit better view up here. Devin Goolsby, a senior linebacker, the defensive player of the game, brought to you by Dandy Dan's Chevron in Sumrall and Bellevue. Now time for the Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic post-game show, where Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic committed to the care and well-being of your child from birth to adolescence. With this win tonight, Sumrall goes 2-2 in district play. If that score holds over in Greene County, the Wildcats would be 3-2. Lawrence County would be 3-1, but they play Poplarville next week. So if Sumrall were to beat Greene County next week and Poplarville would beat Lawrence County, then Lawrence County, Greene County, and Sumrall would all tie for second with a 3-2 district mark, and then it would come down to a point system and kind of complex. But bottom line is that Sumrall could still get a 2 seed if they beat Greene County next week and Poplarville beats Lawrence County. That is, if that score holds over in Leakesville. And we think that that it'll might not be the final score, but it would be enough for a Greene County victory. But the Bobcats will have their hands full next Friday night when the Greene County Wildcats come here to Lions Field to wrap up the regular season. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock. We hope you'll be here. And then after that game, we'll know a little bit more as to whether the Rawcats will be at home in the first round of the playoffs or if they take to the road. And I think we're going live down
Cole Daniels
to the field. Cole Daniels on the field tonight. Cole, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, tell me about the game tonight. I know you guys probably were a little bit disappointed. You gave up the goose egg there at the end, but your overall thought of the way defensively in particular you guys played tonight?
Yes, sir. I think on defense, I think we played pretty good, but we got to just work hard on offense.
What were some of the things offensively that didn't go right that you think you guys need to work on?
Well, blocking scheme, linebacker blitzing, just got to pick that up.
Had 2 or 3 face mask penalty tonight, Cole. Difficult. How are you coached to tackle where you don't get up in the grill of somebody?
Well, we'll coach the tackle, head across, wrap up, drop your feet. That was just, hey.
Well, sometimes it just happens, right?
Yes, sir. It just happens sometimes.
Well, it looks like now that Greene County is going to beat Lawrence County, so that would set up a showdown next week with the Wildcats. You guys could still potentially get a 2 seed. You got to feel pretty good about this one tonight, though, with a big homecoming win.
Yes, sir. We're just going to go work harder Monday at practice, and we're going to get that dub Friday.
Well, that sounds good to me, Cole. Lead the team, be a leader. Good job tonight.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, Cole Daniels down there on the field. And again, at last report, Greene County was beating Lawrence County, which, as a Sumrall fan, that's what you wanted to have happen.
Yes, sir.
Richard Thompson down on the field. Jeremy Thompson, our producer, you can kind of actually hear the players and parents kind of talking things over down there on the field, as they will now set their sights on the Wildcats of Greene County, who have picked up steam here toward the end of the year. They started out slowly, but Greene County playing the best football of the season here at the end when you want them to play well. Richard, anybody else down there?
Nigel Coleman.
Is Nigel there?
Oh, yes, sir. He right here, right behind me.
Nigel, can you hear me?
Hey.
I think we're going to try to get Nigel Coleman, who had an interception called back tonight. Nigel, can you hear me? We'll give him a second, and maybe he's not going to join us. I don't know, because after the game, players want to talk to their family and friends. I certainly get that. Nigel, you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me about what you thought was a pick six. They called interference, as it turns out. How did that play develop? What did it look like from your point of view?
I thought it was all good, and then next thing I know, I look back, it's a flag on the field. I already knew what it was.
Yeah, you kind of knew when the flag went down, that they were going to get you for interference. Tell me about the overall effort tonight. I know you got disappointed that you gave up the 6 there at the end.
Yes, sir. We never like to let the team score on us, but it happens every once in a while.
as long as you finish with at least one more point than they do. I joked on the air tonight with you, at least for the time being, committing to Pearl River. Your brother's at Jones. I know he's going to be gone at Jones, but any problems in the Coleman household? You guys going to get along?
I mean, we'll be all right.
Yeah, they'll maybe have to fight it out. Pearl River has homecoming tomorrow, actually, down in Poplarville, a 2 o'clock game against Gulf Coast. Nigel, continued success, man. Let's go get this one next Friday night.
Yes, sir.
All right, Nigel Coleman down there on the field. Sumrall a winner tonight, 28-6. Thank you, Richard, for getting us some players down on the field. That'll do it here tonight. We'll see you next Friday night at 7 o'clock. The showdown with Greene County, and it could potentially mean a number 2 seed in the playoffs, which would mean a home game for Sumrall in the first round. Should the Bobcats finish 3rd or 4 seed, they would go on the road. But that's the way it looks from here from Lions Field in Sumrall. 28-6, Sumrall a winner over Forest County AHS. For executive producer Jeremy Thompson and our field producer Richard Thompson, I'm Kelly Sander. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend. You've been watching Sumrall Bobcat Football on our YouTube channel at Sumrall Athletics.